Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome to Rise and Rewind, presented by the Swanton Welding Company as we head to the state championships along with Tory, Strock. I am Lynn, Groll. Get you all set from the state semifinals a night ago and get you set for the action coming up next week in Canton at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, stranger.
Yeah, that time of year. Not going to be seeing much more of me, though, after this next week.
I know. I get a little long in the face when I don't get to see you as often, but always nice to recharge the batteries, and boy, you blink and it seems like we're right back here again.
Yeah, seems like just a couple months ago we were out here for our kickoff show, and now we're talking about the state championships.
It's hard to believe, and a few teams that I think we foresaw maybe making it to this point, but it's such a long, windy road filled with peaks and valleys and injuries, unfortunately, and 14 teams persevered to get to this point.
Yeah. This is one of the teams that has not had any valleys. It's all been peaks for the Liberty Center Tigers. And I don't want to say anything, but if you want to get to a state championship, you might want to get us a helmet out here at American Freedom Energy.
Yeah.
Liberty Center and St. Henry.
There you go.
Playing for a state championship coming up next week.
I think maybe the only valley, if I had to nitpick, would be just one half of one game, maybe.
Yeah, the Archbold game in week 10.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Moeller and the staff, you don't necessarily mind that because you need to be challenged at some point, and they were, and they responded. And but yeah, I mean, has any team had fewer valleys than the Tigers? I mean, and that's by their own doing. They don't seldom put themselves in position.
Boy, they have been impressive this season. Impressive again a night ago. We'll get to that here in just a minute. But, man, can Wheelersburg, that's who they will get at 7:30 on Saturday night in the Division 5 state championship in Canton. Can Wheelersburg give them a game? Nobody else has.
Well, it's got to be Wheelersburg or it's a done deal. I will say on paper, and I'm looking forward this week to digging into Wheelersburg a little bit. The last couple of years, it was interesting digging into the Liberty Center opponents who we don't cover during the year. But on paper, I think if you know, you understand Wheelersburg kids, the demographics, the area where they're located. I mean, they're blue collar, they're tough. Yeah. And so we at least know that about them. They're not going to
little bit like this town of Liberty Center.
Lot.
Blue collar, rugged.
A lot. And with tough kids, whose dads were tough and parents who expect their kids to face challenges and overcome them, not try to kind of pave the way for them to make it easy. And so we at least have that going for us. 2 physical programs. We know that.
Yeah, 2 teams that don't throw it much. Wheelersburg threw it 8 times night ago against Cardinal Mooney, and Liberty Center throwing it a little bit more than maybe they have the last couple of state championship years, and we'll see if they need to do that. Yep. Harrison Cruz averaged over 24 yards per carry last night, and that went over Indian Lake.
It's not too bad. Yeah, and it feels like, Liberty Center kind of throws it when they want to. And that's always what, Coach Lingard always said. We want to run the ball, and we want to throw it when we want to, not when we have to. But the thing about their throwing, they're super efficient, and they have capable skill guys out there that can catch the ball. And Caden Kreinbrink he can make all the throws. He can zip it if he has to, but he can feather them in there nice. Right. And
you see the catch Ethan Gray had last night?
I did. I just watched that this morning, actually, the one-handed. Yes. Impressive.
Yeah. Also, we're going to have Central Catholic from our area. Boy, they had a tough one a night ago, 21-20 over Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy. Had to rally for the victory in that one, and St. Henry will also make a trip to Canton, and another team a little bit outside our coverage area, Hopewell Loudon, with a win over Coldwater, game that we had on our Gamecast presented by the Sports Place at Wassee on Ace last night.
You know, Lynn, we talk, and people know if you follow sports, all the way to us, even when you win a state championship, you look back at the tournament trail, and there was a game or games where, I don't want to say you had to get lucky, but you needed a bounce, and your backs were against the wall. Hopewell Loudon was in that situation last night. They could have lost it at the end. And then Central Catholic, that's a game, if they would prevail against Watterson this week, people will look back when they're recapping this season and say that Cuyahoga Valley game was one where we snatched victory.
Yeah, had to survive a field goal attempt as the time expired a night ago to pick up the win in that one. They were down 20-7 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and that's one thing with high school kids. I don't like to, and I know you're the same, don't like to harp on the fact that a kick was missed as much as you like to focus on the other team maybe dodged a bullet, because these are high school kids.
Right.
And boy, that's pressure.
Yep.
And I'm sure these are good kickers we're talking about, and unfortunately that happens.
We'll see what becomes of the state championships, according to Drew Pastor and Ohio Fantastic 50. The odds for the games, none of them real tight, except for the Division III game between Bishop Watterson and Central Catholic, who have played each other in the last two state title games. We'll get into that after we take a break and look back at the state semifinals from a night ago. The Swanton Welding Company proudly supports our local student athletes and coaches. We're committed to being your local steel fabrication company in Northwest Ohio and building projects across the country. For job opportunities at the Swanton Welding Company, visit www.swantonweld.com or visit them at 407 Zider Way in Swanton. American Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store off Route 24 on State Route 109, just south of Liberty Center, now has 88 unleaded fuel and is your one-stop shop for fuel, food, drinks, and much, much more, including locally raised meats and home-baked goods. American Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store is proud to support Black Swamp Football and is the host of the Black Swamp Football podcast, football show, and Saturday mornings Rise and Rewind. Stop in and see Glenn and Greg today and make American Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store a part of your everyday routine.
Who says a college degree is the only path to a fulfilling career? At the Gherkin Companies, we offer rewarding livelihoods with or without a degree. Gherkin provides a generous benefits package, continuous training, top-notch equipment, and a culture that rewards effort. We're looking for rock-solid performers to help build and reinforce the region's infrastructure. Whether you have construction experience or are just starting your career, apply now at gherkincompanies.com/careers.
Thank you to the Swanton Welding Company, our good friend Norm Zider, for being the title sponsor of Rise and Rewind this season. This will be our final show of 2025 as we head into the state championships. And also thank you to all of our sponsors throughout this season, and also to all of our faithful followers. One of those, Jeff Chapman, he's in Cleveland today watching us. I don't know what he's doing in Cleveland. He had a big feast on Wednesday night, I believe, at his Ponderosa over in Western Defiance County.
Well, I hope Chappie is hunkered down, because travel could be pretty tough.
Yeah. He sent me a picture. He looks like he's just outside. What is it now? It's not Jacobs Field, Progressive Field.
Not even that anymore.
It's not even that.
I don't think.
I don't know either, but he's right outside the Guardians home stadium as we speak this morning. So Chappie, be careful coming back. I don't know when you're headed back. You may want to wait till early next week. It sounds like overnight is going to be pretty treacherous around at least Northwest Ohio. I don't know about Northeast Ohio, if they're going to get any lake effect snow.
Oh boy. If you tell you what, to qualify that, Lynn, it is still Progressive.
Okay.
I thought they changed it like everybody else. And so, yeah, if you've ever been in Northeast Ohio when they get that lake effect, I was at a Kent State Northern Illinois game with Mike Hummer one night when Julian Edelman played for Kent State.
Okay.
And I thought we weren't going to school the next day. It was one of those Maction games, and it just let loose. And it was like a blizzard. And I thought, how are we going to get home? And we did.
Okay.
But yeah, so Chappie, we wish you safe travels, buddy.
Yeah, and if those listening to this on Saturday, please be careful out on the roads later today. It sounds like we're going to get a few inches of snow, and first time I'm going to be able to dust off the old snowblower in a while. I haven't used it about the last 3 years, I don't think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hot and heavy later this afternoon and all night until, it sounds like tomorrow as we approach maybe lunchtime, the main highways will be better. But, don't drive like a fool out there. I get on my soapbox about certain things, as you know, and that's one of them. Don't drive like an idiot.
Yeah.
And respect the other people on the road and
give the snowplows some time to do their job.
Yes.
And, if you don't need to be out, don't be out. Just don't drive, please. Don't just go out to be out and trying to check things out.
Yeah. And
stay off the roads, please. We want everybody to be safe here over the holiday season.
Amen, Lynn. Amen.
Yeah, going to be a busy Saturday, and looking forward to having the snow roll. And I'm going to do some duck hunting tonight, I think.
Are you?
Yeah. Out there, do some duck hunting in the snow
during that.
Oh yeah,
because it's gonna be nasty.
Yeah, be good duck hunting weather.
Yeah, I've got to go to Hamler for Thanksgiving today, and then we'll watch the Buckeye game. And
be careful, my friend.
Thank you.
And watch for deer on the way home. We don't need a repeat from a year or two ago.
I still have PTSD from that night. Yes, I do. I do.
The Krieger family and big bucks. Not going well.
No, we're 0 for 2. The Bucks won both of them. And so I don't want to try third time's a charm. I don't even want to try it, but I'll be the one driving home from Hamler.
Okay.
If there's
Are you blaming Cinda for the accident?
I'm not, but
okay, I'm just checking.
I'm a big you always gotta anticipate what could happen.
Okay.
I'm not saying she did or didn't anticipate what could happen, but things might have been different had I been
where was the navigator at? Was he not paying attention?
Yeah, he might have been looking at his phone, I think.
Yeah, well, there's maybe some blame on that side too, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
I want to be,
if we're going to, I'd like to preach accountability and things. I guess I maybe have some accountability.
So you're headed to the Krieger side today. Strock family Thanksgiving was on Thursday.
Yep. And see my nephews. I'll get the PH basketball scoop from Reed and TJ. I know they were a little, they weren't real happy. They were supposed to play Napoleon Friday night, and that game got moved, and they weren't real happy about that. Okay. They wanted to play, and I think it was going to be in the Grand Canyon, and kids want to play in the canyon,
Right.
And so they'll get that rescheduled, I'm sure, but hopefully get to see Lincoln.
Time to get the round balls out.
Yeah.
That time of year as boys action got underway last night, right?
Last night.
Boy, geez.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yep. Liberty Center going to have to wait a couple weeks at least longer. Glenn, do we know when the Tigers are going to start their season on the Tenora? Do you know the date of that game? I think they have about 7 kids that are not playing football, I believe, from what Greg has said. Coach Badenhop, as the Tigers get ready for a new basketball season.
Yeah, if you're a basketball coach and you're younger and just getting into it, and you happen to get a job at a school that has football success.
20th? Okay, 20th is when the Liberty Center Tigers will get their basketball season underway.
Okay. And if you happen to get a job as a young coach at a school that's good in football, the one and only phone call I'd be making. Now, you can call some other coaches. I know some MAC coaches, but I'm calling Greg Badenhop.
Yeah.
And I'm going, how do I navigate this? Because nobody's had few people have had as much practice.
Yeah, Marion Local has figured it out. They've made some trips to the state championships on the hardwood.
Yeah, yes, they have.
But I would like to see our state championships for football have ended today to give these basketball teams a little bit more time, and the wrestling folks as well. I think we need to wrap up the football season a week earlier than what we do, like we used to always.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that.
But I think it really cuts into the round ball season, and now you really, playing Liberty Center and the folks that get to the state championships in football, they're playing 3 games a week.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah, it's
a lot.
It's asking
especially
a lot
after a 16-week football season.
Let me ask you this, Lynn.
And 18, if you add in the 2 scrimmages in the preseason, it's 20.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Somebody asked me this Thursday at Thanksgiving. The Browns, are they building that indoor facility?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
That's a done deal.
It got passed. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because they were using some of our unclaimed funds, and I checked on that. I think I had like $100 that was going to that if I didn't claim it, I believe.
Yeah,
and you can search your name for that.
Oh, I
don't know
did.
if you did.
I searched everybody in my family, and to me, it wasn't even enough. There was some, but it wasn't enough for me to even go through the process of claiming it. But so the question is, when that happens, would you like to see or know the state football championships moved indoor like Michigan has them at Ford Field?
I think so. I'd like to see it indoors.
Would you?
Yeah, I have no problem moving it indoors.
Yeah, I'm kind of mixed on that. Now,
I mean, I like the outdoor effect and the impact that has, but
does it depend on what type of program that you have?
But I think if you're a competitor, you want the other team at their best too. I don't think you want them playing in the rain or wind or in the cold. I think it should be indoors if it's possible.
I'm just curious. I don't have a heart now. If it was indoors, that's great for a lot of reasons. You mentioned a couple. To me, there's something about playing the finals outdoors in Ohio.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, but still, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be okay either way, I guess.
I like it indoors,
but
I think.
If they move it or don't, there will be, you think people banter online about playoff locations and things? Oh man, there'll be a back and forth on that. Yeah. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Your sister says no indoors. It's all a part of the experience. I agree, Tracy.
Thank you, sis.
But
that's my sis right there.
If you get bad weather, do you want to play a game in 7 inches of snow next weekend? If that's happening, I think it kind of ruins the integrity of the game. Me personally.
Yeah.
Now, if we don't have crazy weather, fine, have it outdoors. But boy, this time of year in Ohio, you can get some crazy weather.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been in Canton and Massillon a few times when you got the lake effect snow and oh man.
Yeah.
But I side with my older sis on that.
Yeah. Well, Tracy, I don't want you complaining on Saturday night when it's about 15 degrees in Canton. I'm cold. I don't want to hear it, Tracy. So if I see her down there in the Liberty Center section, all bundled up, and
she won't be the one complaining. I'll tell you who'll be the one complaining will be Scotty. Scotty does not like being cold.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's an official. He should be used to it this time of year.
I'm actually surprised how he navigates that because he does not like being cold.
Huh.
And that dude will wear earmuffs in the house. And I can't seem
a little worried about Scotty after hearing
that.
But
see, he used to be tough.
Yeah.
He used to be tough back when he played for Napoleon.
Yeah. Mercer says, put it indoors. It's week 16. Let's see the best football we can see. I agree with that. I think if we get it's in the 30s or above, no wind, fine. I like it outdoors. But if we get adverse weather conditions, I'd like to see it indoors.
Yeah. I could honestly, if I had to defend either position, I could easily.
Yeah.
I really could.
Right.
Because you do want to see a level playing field. You do. You want to see teams at their best. I get that. But I also have always been of the mindset you better be able to run the football in November if you're going to be a contender.
Yeah.
And you still have to because you've got to make it there.
Right.
You may have some bad weather weeks 12, 13, 14 to even get there. So you still got to be able to run the ball. But
there haven't been a lot of state championship games over the years that have been played since we went to turf that have been played in terrible weather conditions. I think the Avon Anderson game a year ago was played in a pretty good snowstorm a year ago. That's as best that I can remember of a game that was kind of played in some adverse conditions, but been pretty lucky over the years. I know Archbold, the year they in the early 80s with Andy Peterson and Doug Newman and crew, they played on a soggy grass surface down the Dayton area that year and lost like 6-0 or 7-0. And I know John Downey has said you couldn't do nothing on that field.
I believe it.
It was just a muddy mess.
Yeah, I believe
But
it.
that was 40 years ago too.
Yeah, well, we've come a ways
Yeah.
since then. But the Indian Valley Glenville game last night, light dusting, nothing
Yes.
significant.
Right.
But
Yeah.
and on turf it doesn't matter. I mean, you can
Yeah.
dig in on that.
Right. I think the wind is probably a bigger impact than anything.
True.
This time of year. Cold, kids are bundled up. They got pads on. They're just the energy and everything that goes into it. I don't know that kids are ever cold playing the game.
No, and it's funny because we were walking back to the car last night in Wapakoneta after the Hopewell Loudon Coldwater game, and I said to you, boy, to think that us older guys played in this stuff.
You didn't think about it. You didn't think about it.
No, in
didn't
fact,
worry about it.
You kind of liked it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Patriot Publisher says, then move the season to the spring if you want nice weather. Baseball averages colder temps than football season. You're exactly right. And baseball, if they played in the fall, I think every baseball coach would say, sure, I'll play in September and October because they don't get many above 50-degree days until late May.
No, a lot of times that benchmark that a lot of schools use is 40 degrees.
Right.
And so if it's 40 is your benchmark, it's 38 close enough.
Yeah.
I mean, you get a fastball in on the hands, but I like Patriot Publisher's point. He's right.
Yeah.
He's right. And I think again, it some of it depends just on your mindset and perspective based on how your program's built, and
right.
And I get it. Like I said, I could defend either side because I've always thought it was cool. You buy one ticket up at Ford Field and you're good for the day.
Yep.
And that's pretty cool.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. They're playing their state championships this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I was watching some highlights and there's some heavyweight matchups in those big divisions.
Yes.
And I'll tell you this, Lynn, Michigan football is better than it gets credit for. And I know we won.
There's a couple Michigan schools that beat Toledo Central Catholic this season.
Yeah. And I coached in an Ohio-Michigan All-Star game a few years back, and we had Marshawn Lattimore, who starred for the Buckeyes and then the Saints. And so we had some dudes, and I'm telling you, that Michigan team, oh, my goodness. They had there was a kid going to Northwestern, a kid going to Michigan State, and they were legit. So,
I think the Michigan high school game gets kind of lost on our minds a little bit.
I don't think they get enough respect, if I'm being honest. Now, we're Ohio boys. Ohio's supreme, I'd like to say, but Michigan football is pretty good.
Yes. Yeah. They got some outstanding teams up there.
Do.
Yeah. Going to start in Division I from a night ago and run through all of the divisions. I have some recaps for you from outside the area as well. Division I, St. Xavier 21, Middletown 6. St. X will be gunning for its 5th state championship and first since 2020. They will play Olentangy Orange, who won 28-0 over Lakewood at St. Edward last night. For St. X, Jackson Frey threw 2 touchdowns for the Bombers, and Jake Britt had a receiving and rushing score in that one for St. X. Olentangy Orange 28-0 over St. Edward. The Orange knocked off the 7-time state champions in their first semifinal appearance in program history. Orange limited the Eagles to 188 yards and without a touchdown for the first time in 50 games. The Pioneers forced 5 turnovers in that one. Lucas Fickle and Levi Davis, a finalist for Mr. Football, scored 2 touchdowns each for Orange, while Trayton Schrader and Kingston Johnston had 2 interceptions each. Orange had won just 3 playoff games in its 16-year history entering this season. They will now play for a state championship against St. X coming up next Friday night. That game will be at 7:30 p.m. Orange is favored by 10 over St. X, according to Fantastic 50.
My main question to you, Lynn, was how long has Orange been around? Because they're still in their infancy as a school. 16 years.
Yep.
16 years.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you right now, what they did last night to Lakewood St. Ed's, I mean, that better get your attention. And again, this is big boy football.
Yeah.
And the thing about Division I is it's like Division I college. In the smaller divisions, a lot of the schools have a pretty significant advantage on paper. a lot of times. In Division I, it's like even Steven. I mean, there's Division I recruits on both sidelines. And when you take the field, I mean, you've got to execute, and because the other team's really good too. And to do that to St. Ed's, unbelievable.
Yeah. Well documented that Orange is coached by Wes Schrader. Trayton Schrader did Coach Krause tell us that wasn't Wes's kid, was it?
No, it's his nephew.
It's his nephew, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but Orange with an impressive win. They are a 10-point favorite over St. X. Friday night, 7:30 p.m. You can see the Division I state championship game. Division II rematch from a year ago. Avon 38-7 over Walsh Jesuit. This is a Walsh Jesuit team that beat Toledo Central Catholic early on this season. Avon will look to repeat as state champions after defeating Anderson 2013 in last year's state championship game, which was the program's first state title. Walsh Jesuit returned the opening kickoff 95 yards for a touchdown, but Avon rolled from there, scoring the final 38 points. The victory was the 215th for 18-year Avon coach Mike Elder. Blake Elder threw for 197 yards and 3 scores. Finn Jordanic led Avon with 6 grabs for 101 yards as the Eagles move on. And Coach Mike Elder, boy, he's a genius. He's one of the top coaches in all of Ohio. They will get Anderson, who knocked off Big Walnut last night, 29-22. The Raptors will have the opportunity to avenge that 20-13 state championship loss to Avon last year. Anderson won its only state crown in 2007. Owen Scalf threw for 296 yards and 2 scores, including 11 completions to Cooper Kathman, who had 118 yards for Anderson last night, as Anderson and Avon will hook up in the Division II state championship game. That will be Thursday at 7 p.m. That will kick off the state championship weekend. Avon favored by 19 in this one over the Raptors.
Boy, that was that 2007 game. I remember that Anderson team. Oh, man. Yes, I do. They were uber athletic, had a couple nice, tall, athletic wideouts, and I'm surprised they played them as close as they did last year. 19's a big spread based on that. I know it's a new year.
Yeah.
Big Walnut, I mean, what a great run the last couple of years by them.
Yes.
But, excuse me, to do that to Walsh Jesuit.
Right. Yeah. I don't remember what the spread was a year ago for that Avon-Anderson game. I don't know if it was quite that much. Man, I don't recall, but it was tight, 20-13 a year ago. Now it was played in the little bit of a snowstorm.
Good point.
Yeah,
good
point. That had much of a impact on the game, but they will hook up again in the Division II state championship on Thursday night. Division III, Bishop Watterson 41-9 over Tip City Tippecanoe. Bishop Watterson will get the chance to defend their state championship from a year ago and win its 4th state title. They also won titles in 2010 and 2002. Bishop Watterson led just 14-3 at the half, but outscored Tip 21-0 in the third quarter and outgained the Red Devils 108-3 in the third stanza to break that one open and pick up the 41-9 victory. Central Catholic 21-20 over CVCA last night. That game was at Fostoria. Luke McEwen missed a 29-yard field goal as time expired as the Irish held on. Ali Baidoun hit Jeremiah Fuller with a 23-yard touchdown with 1:55 to go to tie the game, and then the PAT to put the Irish ahead 21-20. Central Catholic overcame 14 penalties for 125 yards. CVCA led 20-7 entering the fourth quarter last night. The Irish outgained CVCA, though, 253-213. The Irish will face Bishop Watterson in a rematch of the last 2 state championships. The Eagles won 19-14 last year, and Central Catholic won 27-7 back in 2023. So not much changing in Division II or Division III this season.
No, it's crazy how those teams just get back there like it's no big deal sometimes.
Yeah.
Central Catholic, and it sounds like at least early on in the game when they had a bunch of penalties piling up, a lot of them were pre-snap things.
Pre-snap, yes.
You know, so how do you explain that at this point in the season? Just a lack of focus? Was it, was the other team barking out some signal? I don't know, but that's
Yeah, as disciplined as Greg Dempsey's crew is.
Darn right they are. And so I can tell you this, they're not going to have that many penalties this week.
No.
And that's going to be a dandy. And I like Central Catholic this week. We'll talk about it, I'm sure, Monday.
They are a 5-point underdog to Bishop Watterson, according to Fantastic 50.
Yeah, I believe that. That's a pretty fair line. I think that was the bullet that Central had to dodge there.
Yeah.
And we'll see. But Tippecanoe's no slouch.
Yep.
And so that's impressive what Watterson did, too.
They rolled them, yes. Central Catholic will get Bishop Watterson next week. That game is at 3 p.m. on Friday afternoon from Canton. You remember back in mid-August, when Tommy Ward was sitting right over here with us, and he was talking about Ali Baidoon and Central Catholic? Well, he had a big night last night. Led that uprising in the fourth quarter for the Irish, and Central will get a chance to win another state championship.
Yeah, you need your stars to step up when your backs are against the wall, and Baidoon did it.
Yeah, it's had a outstanding playoff season for the Fighting Irish, as they will play for another state championship. 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon in Division 4, Glenville 26, Indian Valley 21. The Tar Blooders, which led 20-0 with 8:11 left in the third quarter, knocked off the defending state champions and will look to bring home another state title after winning championships in 2023 and 2022. Glenville stopped Indian Valley's Grady Kenzie just outside the 20-yard line on a 4th and 4 in the waning minutes to preserve that victory. That ended a 28-game winning streak by the Braves. Glenville moves on to the state championship. They will get Shelby, who was a 42-7 winner over Indian Hill last night. The Whippets will be playing in their first state championship ever. Mr. Football finalist Braden DeVito was 9 of 14 passing, 112 yards, and 2 scores running for 83 yards and a touchdown on 6 keepers. He also scored a defensive touchdown, the 69th this season for Braden DeVito, and his 205th of his career. Shelby held the Braves. I know Braden DeVito gets all the attention in that offense. Shelby held the Braves to 97 yards of total offense. Indian Hill entered that game averaging over 40. They held them to under 100 last night.
Boy, oh boy.
They have a couple of outstanding defensive ends, this Shelby. And then you had Braden DeVito to the mix.
Yeah, Carter Kessler, who we've talked about. He's a West Virginia commit. Was at Napoleon as a freshman. He is just a stud. Thank you, Hopper. He is just an absolute stud, and he was in their backfield.
They have another defensive end on the other side that's getting a bunch of Power 5 or whatever, Power 4, whatever it is now. I can't keep track of what they call it at the college level, but he's getting a lot of attention. They have a couple of great defensive linemen, and overall. And Braden DeVito plays some pretty good defense as well. Yeah,
he does. And you know, we mentioned last night on our broadcast, Shelby's been close over the last decade. I mean, they've put together great regular seasons, just haven't been able to get over the hump. And, you know, looking at that Glenville Indian Valley game, Lynn, I believe, if I read it correctly last night, Indian Valley had a lead with just under 10 minutes to go, or just over 10 minutes to go, after trailing early, had a lead early in the fourth quarter, and had a chance.
Yeah, I don't know if they get the lead maybe 21-20,
because
they were down 20-0 kind of middle of the third quarter.
Yep, it was 21-20 with maybe 10 and some change to go.
Okay, yeah, I didn't find that info, but I'll trust you there for that. Is Shelby and Glenville will square off in the Division 4 state championship game. That will be 10:30 on Friday, and that may be, for me, maybe the game of the whole 7-game slate. I don't know. Shelby's favored by 9 in that one, but boy, that one should be a good one.
It should, and Glenville's one of those teams where you just rarely pick against them because of their sheer talent. I think Shelby gets it done. I really do. And Glenville always has another gear, it seems. Shelby, they have just been dominant this year. Other than their regular season game with Galleon, who played them tough, they turned the tables, on them in the playoffs. They spanked them in the playoffs. But Shelby's a team on a mission, man.
Yeah, they seem to be first state championship game ever for the Whippets. They will get State Power Glenville next week and put a bow on Grady Kenzie's career. He will head to the Air Force Academy along with Braden DeVito next year. Boy, would have liked to have seen those two guys hook up in the state championship, but Glenville ruined aspirations of that.
Are there two players that their respective conferences will be more happy to see graduate than Grady Kenzie and Braden DeVito?
Geez. Yeah.
I mean, because if you're an opposing coach, you're going, God, it seems like they've been here forever.
Right.
And finally, I mean, they might even get them a graduation gift.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And boy, what a year and a career for Grady Kenzie, and Braden DeVito will continue his next week in the state championships. I don't know when the voting ends for Mr. Football, but that last night may have sewed it up for Braden DeVito. Probably get my vote.
Yeah,
if I was voting for somebody.
Yeah, DeVito would absolutely get my vote. I mean, he's just so versatile, and he's at a different level. I mean, this kid is unbelievable. Just watch his highlights.
Yeah,
I mean, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Division 5, Wheelersburg 24, Cardinal Mooney 10. The Pirates secured their third state championship game appearance all time. Cooper Heimbach converted 3 field goals for Wheelersburg, 36, 21, and 47. And Pirates signal caller Braylon Recker ran for 127 yards and 1 touchdown. Standout Cardinal Mooney running back Ike Lake left the game early in the second quarter with an ankle injury. He bolted through the Wheelersburg defense for a 62-yard touchdown with 3:34 left in the first stanza. Lake had 78 yards on 6 lugs before exiting. Elijah Brown had 111 yards on 24 carries for the Pirates, which attempted only 8 passes in that game. Wheelersburg, which is in the midst of its 37th playoff appearance, has been to the state championship twice. They won both times, 2017 over Eastwood and Craig Rutherford, an overtime game, and also back in 1989. They will get Liberty Center 42-10 over Indian Lake last night for the Tigers. Third consecutive state championship for Liberty Center. They were dominant again, as they have been all throughout this season. The Tigers will face Wheelersburg at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday night to round out the state championship weekend in Canton. LC posted 431 yards on just 39 plays last night. They ran for 310 on 30 attempts. Garrison Cruz, he's up in that average again, led the way, 170 yards on just 7 attempts, and also scored 1 touchdown. That's 24.3 per carry. That's a good receiving number, but that's rushing for Garrison Cruz last night. He also added 42 yards receiving on 3 grabs as he led all receivers. Baxter Barrett had 34 yards rushing and hit pay dirt twice. Thomas Moeller chipped in 66 yards in the other LC rushing score. Moeller also had a receiving touchdown, and Ethan Gray had 2 grabs for 39 yards and another touchdown toss from Caden Kreinbrink, who was 7 of 9 for 121 yards. Indian Lake was limited to 54 yards rushing. They did throw for 236. Brody Reisinger caught 7 passes, 135 yards. Liberty Center will try to win their first state championship since 1997, while finishing as runners-up in 1993, 1998, and the past 2 years, as the Tigers will square off with the Pirates of Wheelersburg. That game, 7:30 p.m. Saturday night. You can hear it on our Gamecast presented by the Sports Place at Wasion Ace. Liberty Center favored by 15, according to Drew Pastor, Ohio. Fantastic 50.
Very good analysis there, Lynn. I think the question on some people's mind, at least on my mind, is how good was Mooney? Because
yeah, I think losing Ike Lake, boy, he's not real big. He's like 155, like 5'9". Think of Will Speck at St. Henry, but a bunch more shift and a lot more speed.
Yeah,
I mean, he makes one cut and boom.
Yep,
he has a seam. He's gone.
Kind of reminds you of that running back Orville had when Liberty played him, right?
Maybe not quite that big.
Markel Parks,
yeah.
So that's the question, and everyone will have their theories and predictions throughout the week. I'm looking forward to watching some Wheelersburg film, and to me, Lynn, and we'll get into it this week, but for me, I don't care about anything on the outside. Can they hold up in the trenches? So I want to see Wheelersburg up front on both sides of the ball and see what they're made of in the trenches. If you've got some dudes in the trenches, then maybe you have a puncher's chance. And you could say Scary Terry last year for Ironton. You could Sean Terry. You could say, well, it doesn't matter what you have in the trenches when you have Sean Terry. Yes, it does, because he's not able to do what he does if you can't keep the quarterback clean and things like that. So if Wheelersburg has some dudes up front that can hold up against Liberty, then maybe they'll have a chance. But I don't know that yet, so I'm not going to say.
Yeah, Liberty obviously wants to run it. Wheelersburg obviously wants to run it. There may not be 15 passes combined thrown in that Division 5 state championship game next week. So it'll come down to the guys in the pits.
Yeah, it will, and maybe a turnover here or there, but we'll learn more about Wheelersburg. You know, Coach Moeller and his staff are digging in.
Yeah,
maybe we're digging in prior behind the scenes, but they'll have a nice scouting report for their Liberty Center Tigers. I'm looking forward to that one. Going to be a lot of orange and black in the stadium,
same as a year ago.
Yeah, right. Ironton, same.
Yeah, it's kind of that same mold. They don't have somebody like Sean Terry. Does Wheelersburg. And that's kind of been the thing that has beat them the last 2 years. Braden Richards from Perry 2 years ago, and then Sean Terry a year ago. It's kind of even Steven in the trenches, but Perry and Ironton just had somebody that was elite.
Yeah, as one of my college coaching buddies would say, they had a couple shiny toys.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah,
you know, can a team without the star power, so to speak, the Power 5 offers or whatever, or Power 4, whatever it's called, like you said earlier, can a team like that beat Liberty Center? I mean, we'll see, but you better be pretty disciplined and pretty physical.
Yeah, that South Range team up front.
The
year prior to that in the state semis, they had some dudes that could mix it up in the pits. That's what it's going to take. Does Wheelersburg have that? It's going to be hard. They play a different competition down there than up here. Find out.
And then the question, to piggyback off that, Lynn, not only can they hold up in the pits, can they do it for 48 minutes? Yeah. It's one thing to slug it out for a couple rounds. It's another thing to go the full 15 rounds of a heavyweight fight. And can Wheelersburg do it? I don't know. How about schedule strength, Lynn? And if you said that, I apologize. Do we know Wheelersburg versus Liberty Center's?
I can tell you. Just give me a second.
Schedule strength. You're always better.
Keep jabbering, Coach.
Yeah, you're always more efficient at looking at those types of things. It takes me a while to kind of pick my way through Fantastic 50 and things like that. I would be curious. We know they beat Ironton. That's for sure. But
yeah, I think in Liberty's is in the 60s as far as Martin RP had. Wheelersburg strength of schedule is 40th.
Okay.
In Division 5, and Liberty Centers is 52. Sorry, 52, not in the 60s. So similar. Cardinal Mooney's was second in all of Division 5.
Okay.
Now the loss of Ike Lake is a big deal. Think of losing Garrison Cruz in the first quarter.
Think of losing Garrison Cruz.
Yeah. I know he's maybe not put up the numbers that Garrison Cruz has, but he has that kind of an impact for Cardinal Mooney.
Right. And think of losing Sean Terry.
Right.
From Ironton early in the game. So
right. Your most explosive offensive piece, you lose early in the second quarter, and he had just ripped off a 62-yarder. And then also mentally what that does for the team, because the kids think, well, geez, we just lost our dude.
Yeah.
It has an impact mentally for teams too. So that would have been interesting to see if Ike Lake could have finished that game. That would have been different. But they line up in the eye and they put him in the back, and he makes one cut and bam.
Yep.
And if you don't get a paw on him, goodbye.
And we'll never know.
No, we won't. You got to play the game, and injuries are a part of it. Liberty Center had Waylon Rentz dinged up 2 years ago when they played Perry. It's just part of the game, and it's kind of luck.
It's a lot of luck.
You can roll through a season. Liberty's been blessed this season. They have avoided the injury bug.
And part of that too is just their strength and conditioning, how physically strong
Yeah.
they are.
And
you know,
part of that probably is how dominant they've been. Their starters have not had to play
Yeah.
in a lot of second halves, at least fourth quarters, maybe a possession or two in the third quarter, but not much in the fourth quarter this season outside of that Archibald game.
Yeah, that helps with the wear and tear. It just does.
It does, yeah.
You know.
They roll into the state championship game this season healthy, full go, and boy, it's going to be hard to beat that senior crew: Max Walker and Hunter Spangler and Caden Kreinbrink. Those guys up front, and the senior class. They're on a mission.
They're on a mission. They've been so close; they could taste it the last couple years. They couldn't quite grab it.
Yeah,
and so you think they're not going to be hungry?
Yeah,
it's going to take 48 minutes of just being willing to put your body on the line, and then maybe more if it's that type of game. I mean, are they is Wheelersburg able to do that? This Tiger group's going to be hungry, man.
Yeah. Wheelersburg is maybe going to have to go to another level.
I think
these seniors here at Liberty Center, they've been there the last 2 years.
Yep, and I don't even know, honestly, I don't even know if we've seen Liberty Center's best yet. And I mean that. I think they have another gear maybe. They just haven't been pressed, with the exception of that first half against Archibald. But we saw how they responded. I think they have another gear. I really do.
What are you going to do against Garrison Cruz if he gets 25, 30 carries? Are you going to hold him under 200?
Here's the problem. If you go into that game saying, if we stop Garrison Cruz, we're going to win this game. So we're going to put all our eggs in that basket. They've got other guys that are going to beat you. They just do.
Yeah, they're a little different on the edges.
Yes,
Ethan Gray and Jackson Wanazak.
Yep, and
guys like that.
Yeah, and I think Thomas Moller's a tremendous compliment to Garrison Cruz. So you can and listen. Sometimes as a coach, you got to pick your poison. They might beat us, but this guy's not going to beat us. So we're going to have 11 guys focused on him. But they've got other guys that are going to beat you if you do that.
You think of the linemen in front of Garrison Cruz.
Yep, absolutely.
How are you going to get out of their blocks? Hunter Spanglers and crew.
And if you say, you know what, we're going to have every defender within 6 yards of the line of scrimmage, and some teams, have done that in the past against Liberty, they're going to beat you on the flanks because they have the guys to do it. So pick your poison. I think if you just sit in your regular base defense that's worked for you all year long, you're going to have a long night. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Whatever your base defense is.
Find out at 7:30 on Saturday night as Liberty Center and Wheelersburg square off a couple of rich tradition programs. I know they only have 3 combined state championships, but boy, football is king in both of those communities, right?
That's an understatement.
Oh my goodness, man. They eat, breathe, sleep football.
Yes, they do.
365 days a year in those 2 communities. Let's go to Division 6. Coach Kirtland, 49-22 over Colonel Crawford last night. The Hornets will be playing for their 8th state championship. A year ago, they fell to Coldwater in the state title game. They also won state titles in 2023, 2020, 2019, 2018, 2015, 2013, and 2011. John Silvestro hit pay dirt 4 times for the Hornets last night as they had no problem with Colonel Crawford. 49-22 as Tiger Laverty's crew will get Hopewell Loudon as the Chieftains knocked off Coldwater last night, 20-18 at Wapakoneta, a game we had on our Gamecast presented by the Sports Place at Wassee on Ace. Hopewell Loudon capitalized on 2 crucial Coldwater turnovers and a field goal miss in the waning minutes with just over 3 minutes left for their first state final trip since 2008. The defending state champion Cavaliers led 10-0. And also 18-6 in the third quarter, but key turnovers allowed the Chieftains to hang around and win. Coldwater outgained the Chieftains last night, coach, by 160 yards, 352 to 192. Coldwater had the edge in total yards. Cavs signal caller Carson Holman, 172 yards rushing on 26 keepers. He almost outgained Hopewell Loudon by himself. Coldwater tried a hook and lateral at midfield with 26 seconds left in the first half with a 10-0 lead, but muffed the exchange at midfield, and Hopewell Loudon recovered. 4 plays later, Jacoby Ellis hit Jack Colatrillo for a 20-yard touchdown as time expired in the first half. Holman then scored on a 3-yard keeper in the third quarter to put Coldwater up 18-6 before a Kellen Frankert interception returned to the Coldwater 8-yard line, led to a Frankert touchdown run. Hopewell Loudon's third scoring drive was also a short one, as they went 45 yards in 4 plays after a Coldwater punt early in the fourth quarter, and Ellis hit Brody Brickman for a 20-18 edge on an 8-yard pitch and catch with 11:05 remaining on a 4th and 3 play. Coldwater then missed a short 23-yard field goal, and Hopewell Loudon ran out the clock as Ellis hit Frankert on a key third down conversion on a middle screen, and the Chieftains bled the clock from there as Brody Brickman had a nice run in there, and I think Frankert may have had a couple as they ran out the clock with their running game. But reading some comments from Chip Otten, if you go to PressProMagazine.com, boy, they have outstanding coverage down in the Dayton area, Columbus area. Boy, they had some great coverage from a night ago from the state semifinals, and boy, Chip Otten was, he was frustrated with that loss. Outgained by 160, kind of dominated, really, 352 to 192, but 2 crucial turnovers. Probably would like to have that hook and lateral back right before the half there with 23 seconds at midfield. You go into the break up 10-0. If you don't do that, or you just kind of run out the clock, take a knee, then interception gives Hopewell Loudon a short field. They had 3 short fields to score their touchdowns, and it was just enough. Just enough.
Yeah, you did. Number one, Lynn, I'll say compliments. You did a great job encapsulating that game with your writing there. That's pretty good. I don't have a whole lot to add other than Hopewell Loudon just kept them within reach, or at times Coldwater allowed them to stay within reach.
Yeah.
However, depending on what side you're on. But Hopewell Loudon persevered, and when you look at those numbers, and that's why I don't get into stats a whole lot, because they don't tell the whole tale. They tell a lot of it, but not the whole tale. And the numbers here are staggering. And Jack Colatrillo from Hopewell Loudon is one of the better receivers you're going to see in small school football. And Brickman is an unbelievable talent. Hopewell Loudon's a real deal. The hook and ladder before halftime, and I love that play. And if it works, life is good. It's kind of a dagger. Now you go in up 17-0. And, but boy, looking back at it, when it doesn't work and it leads to a touchdown, that's the pain of coaching, And so, I don't know what to say.
That'll sting for a while. Mercer asked, was the Coldwater field goal almost too short? It was from the far hash, the right hash.
Yep.
Obviously a hard angle from over there.
Yeah, and you're right. Tough angle. It was close. Tough angle. And sometimes you just need to kind of feather it through. I mean, almost a half leg swing. And I will tell you, he pounded this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was no room for it to maybe bend in or not. I mean, this thing, it was like pulling a ball down the third baseline. I mean, it was rocketed, and really, and this kicker is outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, if he kicked that exact kick 20 times, I bet he makes 19 of them.
Mm-hmm.
If he kicks it 50, he makes 49. I mean that.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable. He just muscled it a little bit too much left. And boy, Hopewell Loudon found a way. It felt like Coldwater was in control most of the game.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. The stats tell you that. And Hopewell Loudon got the break before the half. Let's count up the breaks they had. that had to get the right bounce, or whatever you want to call it in this game. The hook and lateral, had to get that. Had to get the touchdown pass as time expired to Jack Colatrillo. There's 2.
Yep.
Had to get the interception
deep
from Kellen Frankert.
Deep in Coldwater
3
territory.
And then the field goal miss.
Yeah. It's the
I mean, if you take away any of those, Coldwater wins.
Yep. And so it just illustrates how hard it is to get to the state final, but you need a break. You need the ball to bounce your way. And the Hopewell folks will say, no, we earned it. And they did. They did.
Yeah, they took advantage.
But they took advantage. Well said. But you also need to Boy,
I mean, you had to complete that pass right before the half. And I
Oh, it
think they
was
had that
huge.
false start right before that. They had it at
They
the
did.
15 and they had a false start,
they did.
backed them up to the 20, and they still found Jack Colatrillo.
They did. And Brian Colatrillo, Jack's father, the head coach, is so good
Yep.
at scheming for an opponent. And then he's so good in game. He is so good in game. He's always thinking a player or two ahead, maybe more sometimes. And he's an outstanding coach, I'm telling you. And he doesn't like a lot of attention and fanfare, if you know Brian.
Right.
But man, he has his kids well prepared. And that middle screen at the end that iced it.
Yep.
I don't know how many coaches would have dialed up a middle screen at that point, but he knows what he wants to do, and he trusts his kids.
Yeah.
You know, because you throw that and somebody bats it and intercepts it or whatever.
Yeah.
But he trusts his kids.
Yeah. Back to the state championship for Hopewell Loudon. We're there in 2007 and 2008. They fell to Delphos St. John's one year, a small school power at the time, and then they also lost to Newark Catholic in the state championship. So it's taking the best of the best to beat them when they've got to the state championship. They're going to have to beat the best of the best in Tiger Laverde and in this Kirtland team. You better be rugged in the trenches. Hopewell Loudon is. It'll be similar style to what Carey brings. Kirtland may not throw it 3 times the whole day.
Yeah, and Hopewell Loudon's built for that. You know, those championship games they lost, Lynn, I was at both of them, and they were really good. They were good in the trenches, but they had they always have had a feature back, kind of, you know, that you knew was going to carry it 25 times. They are so versatile this year. They have 4 or 5 different guys that could carry it 15 times, and they've got guys on the flanks that can beat you. And I think their defense is maybe a little underappreciated. Their secondary is really good.
Yeah, no doubt about that. For sure. That game will be at 3 p.m. on Saturday, the Division 6 state championship. Kirtland favored by 10, according to Ohio. Fantastic 50 over Hopewell Loudon for that game on Saturday at 3 p.m.
That's going to be a tough one. I will look at some Kirtland film and highlights this week. I'm curious because Hopewell Loudon's going to be a handful, and
yeah, you have the staying power to hang with the Hornets.
I know
they didn't win state a year ago. You know that group's going to be hungry.
Yes, they are.
Boy, they're a rugged bunch.
Yes, they are. They're well coached too.
Yeah. Well, Kirtland will be back in the weight room on Sunday morning.
Yes, they will.
you always see that post from the Kirtland crew. They're back in the weight room on Sunday morning or Saturday morning, whatever it may be, as they get ready for 2026. It never ends there. They call it the Church of Iron.
Yeah,
over there in Kirtland. Boy, what is the job that Tiger Laverde's done at Kirtland?
It's unbelievable,
right?
It really is, and I just know how hard it is. It's hard to have a really, really outstanding season, and then it's hard to do it again. But to just rinse and repeat, like Tiger Laverde's done, and like Tim Goodwin's done.
Yeah, are they jumping for joy? They don't have to play a Midwest Athletic Conference foe.
I would say
in the state championship. Not used to that. It's usually Coldwater or Marion local every year.
I would say yes, they are.
Yeah.
I would say yes, they are, and Hopewell they'll come in and they'll give it their best shot. That's for sure. And can they make their own breaks this week? We'll see.
Yeah. And what a job by Chip Otten. They're a young team. They're gonna be right back in this position here in the next couple of years and the future years. Lost a ton of seniors from that state championship team a year ago that rolled over Kirtland in kind of surprising fashion a year ago, but they're younger this season. Lose 5 games. Now they lost 4 in the regular season, and almost they were on the doorstep of getting back to Canton. But what a job by Chip Otten and crew.
Yeah, it really is. And I was surprised last night calling the game, Lynn, looking at the roster.
Yeah.
You expect to see more 12s by the kids' names, seniors, and there were a lot of 11 and some 10s.
Yeah.
And so they will be back. It's just amazing to graduate the guys they graduated, win a state title, and come back and get to this point.
Lost their starting running back early on in the season, too, to overcome that and figure things out. Boy, they've all their losses were pretty tight this season. But we'll see Coldwater down the road for sure. Going to round out Rise and Rewind this week with the Division 7 recaps from a night ago. Hillsdale, they're going to be back in the Division 7 state championship game. Rolled over McDonald last night, 41-14. The Falcons will play in their second straight state championship. They will play St. Henry. A year ago, the Falcons fell to Marion Local 74-0 in that Division 7 state championship. You remember a year ago, not much of a game. They will get St. Henry. Well, the Redskins favored by 21 going into this one on Saturday morning. The Division 7 state championship will be 10:30 Saturday morning at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. St. Henry edged Columbus Grove last night in a rock fight, 13-10, a defensive battle between these two programs at Troy. St. Henry will get Jeromesville Hillsdale, as I mentioned, on Saturday morning in the title tilt. The Redskins will be playing for their 9th state championship, have won state titles in 1990, 1992, 1994, 1995, 2004, and their last one came in 2006. They held the Bulldogs of Columbus Grove to 191 yards on 50 plays. St. Henry had 266 yards on 45 plays. The Bulldogs ran for 53 yards on 17 attempts, while St. Henry had 122 yards rushing on 33 attempts. Grove managed 138 yards passing, and St. Henry had 144 through the air. Charlie Whirling tossed touchdowns of 55 yards to Landon Schwartz and 29 yards to Owen Zimmerman. Whirling ran for 113 yards on 23 keepers. Ran it a ton, it sounded like, did Whirling in the second half of that one. Trevin Baxter caught a 38-yard touchdown from Landon Best 1 minute before the half for the Grove lone touchdown. Evan Verhoff kicked a 28-yard field goal for the other Columbus Grove points. But just a defensive clash and a battle in the pits, and St. Henry comes out on top 13-10 a night ago to get back to their first state championship game in 19 years.
Yeah, an outstanding season for St. Henry. They'll get to have the chance to win another one. But what can you say about Columbus Grove and their players, namely, and their coaching staff, where they were to start the year, some youth and trying to fit those puzzle pieces together, and then to grow the way they did. And they had St. Henry on the ropes, man. They had some opportunities and to bow out 13-10. There's no shame in that. What they've done over the course of these seniors, the last 4 years, unbelievable testament to Columbus Grove football.
Yeah, started this season 0-3 and rebounded to get to a state semifinal, and we're on the cusp of getting to their first state championship game and since 2003 when they won it.
And you think about it, and this is a hypothetical because we'll never know, but how many teams have started 0-3?
Yeah.
And because if Columbus Grove would have knocked off St. Henry last night, there's a really good chance they were going to bring home a state championship next week.
Right.
You know, really good chance. What did Central Catholic start this year? Were they 0-2 or 0-3?
They were.
I can't believe it. That should be fresh in my mind because it's the current season. But I would be curious how many teams started the season 0-3 and ended up winning the championship.
0-3. Central Catholic was 0-3 too.
Okay, so
lost to Walsh Jesuit, Detroit Cass Tech, Detroit Catholic Central the first 3 weeks, and then lost to Orchard Lake St. Mary in mid-October, 36-21.
Okay, so how interesting would that have been? You could have two state champions this year. Could have had two state champions this year that started 0-3. But
yeah.
So again, hats off to Coach Andy Schaefer, his coaching staff, those kids at Columbus Grove, and not surprised to see Trevin Baxter's name again here in the recap. He's been an absolute star all year for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, just too much from St. Henry a night ago. I think I read a Andy Schaefer comment in one of the articles that it was like running into a brick wall all night.
Yeah, and it appeared that way a week ago when we saw them. They're big and physical, and as those grandparents told me at the game, these guys are seniors.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they should be doing. So there's some accountability there with the family and that. But, yeah, they were going to be tough to beat. And Columbus Grove, boy, they gave it their best shot.
Yeah, they did. Just a little too much from the Redskins. And there was no scoring in the second half of that game a night ago. 13-10 at the half and nothing on the scoreboard in the second half in that one.
Yeah, and those are games where it's tough to call plays because the other team's so good. You're You're just trying to find a rhythm and maybe a wrinkle that's going to work for you. And you always have a couple tricks up your sleeve. And don't know if Grove tried anything like that last night, but boy, it's even hard to execute those against a well-coached team.
Yeah. Again, the state championship schedule coming up next week starts on Thursday night in Division II, 7 p.m. as Avon will play Anderson. Avon favored by 19 on Thursday. On Friday, I should say, the action gets underway with Friday. Geez. I'll get it right. There's only one more day to get it right, Coach?
Yeah, it's right. But I'd rather have you doing it than me. I'm just sipping on my water here.
Boy, really rounding out Rise and Rewind in a grand fashion here. Division 4 starts off the Friday slate at 10:30 p.m. or a.m. Shelby favored by 9 against Glenville in the Division 4 game on Friday morning. The 3 o'clock game on Friday is Division 3. Bishop Watterson and Central Catholic. Watterson favored by 5 in that one. The Friday night slate rounds out with the Division 1 state final at 7:30 p.m. Olentangy Orange favored by 10 against St. Xavier. And then Saturday, the day will start at 10:30 a.m. with the Division 7 state final. St. Henry favored by 21 over Hillsdale. The 3 o'clock game is the Division 6 game. That is Kirtland and Hopewell Loudon. The Hornets favored by 10 over the Chieftains. And then the festivities end on Saturday night in Division 5 at 7:30 Liberty Center. And Wheelersburg, the Tigers favored by 15 in that matchup. What's going to be the best game of the 7?
You stole my thunder. I know you're the one that asks the questions, but as you're reading that, I'm looking at the matchups, and I said I'm going to ask Lynn what matchup he likes best. You mentioned earlier you really like Shelby and Glenville.
Yep.
Okay, and I would agree with you. I really like Kirtland and Hopewell Loudon.
Okay.
I really like that matchup. And part of it is, can Hopewell Loudon slay the giant? Can they knock out Kirtland? Brian Colatrillo has been close twice. Is this the group that gets it done for him? Central Catholic, Watterson, that's pretty even Steven, I would say.
Yeah.
And then can Olentangy Orange get it done against St. X? I think they can. I wouldn't pick against that team. That defense is lights out. But for me, Kirtland and Hopewell Loudon is the one I like. And then I always like watching my alma mater, Lynn. I'm proud of that. Liberty Center, can they get it done? But as far as a neutral observer, I like that Kirtland-Hopewell game.
Kirtland has been rolling for much of the season, 30-7 over Central Clarion Co-op from Pennsylvania, 42-7 over Crestview over in the eastern part of Ohio. They knocked off Perry, a Division 4 team, 44-24. Knocked off Fairview Park, 45-21, 49-0 over Trinity, 42-0 over Wycliffe, 38-7 over Berkshire, 45-0 over Chagrin Falls, 40-0 over Crestwood, 42-7 over Rootstown, and then got in the playoffs, knocked off Wycliffe again, 41-3. Smithville, 35-7. Garraway, their closest game so far this season, that was 21-7, and then last night, 49-22 over Colonel Crawford. So Kirtland has not been tested this season at all.
And we talk about their offense, how rugged they are. I mean, how about defensively? I mean, they're average. What they're giving up per game, I mean, it's got to be around a touchdown, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe a little bit more than that. Giving up 24 and 24, 21, 22. Those are the most they've given up in a game this season. But all the rest are 7 or less.
Okay, that'll jack up the average a little bit.
1, 2, 3, 4 shutouts. Does Kirtland have this season?
Maybe 12.
Yeah, maybe around the 10. Doing the quick estimate, but that Bishop Watterson Central Catholic game is going to be good again. That was tied a year ago.
Yeah,
I think that one will be good. I think Orange may roll against St. X.
I feel like they will.
Like they're really playing well. Avon, they've been impressive this season.
Let me say this: if there was one team, and your life depended on it, that you would not pick against this week, would it be Avon? If you had to pick one team, your life depends on it.
The game was close a year ago.
I know it was. That would scare me.
That concerns me a little bit.
Is it Liberty Center?
I would say it's Liberty Center or St. Henry.
Okay. St. Henry, I would agree too.
I think St. Henry's would be my pick. If anybody's a for sure victor, it's going to hoist the hardware, I think it's St. Henry.
Okay. I would say that'd be number one.
I think Wheelersburg is probably going to be the best team Liberty Center's seen this season.
Would agree with that also. Yeah, I'd say St. Henry would be the can't miss pick here. A little bit of fodder if any Hillsdale fans listen to us.
74-0 against Marion Local.
Yeah.
Now I know this isn't Marion Local from a year ago that they're playing, but boy, it's still a MAC team.
Yeah,
the ruggedness.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just different. I don't know that you understand that until you've went up against it a couple times.
I would agree with that. I would agree. But looking forward to it. We're going to be there again.
Yep.
Get to cover the Tigers. Third time's a charm, hopefully.
Yep.
And look forward to getting back to Canton, Ohio.
Yeah.
Our good friend Tim Street at the OHSAA will take good care of us.
Yes, he will. Yep, we'll be there on Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. for that one from Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. Thank you to all of our followers. Thank you to our good friend Normie Zeider at the Swanton Welding Company for sponsoring Rise and Rewind, our 15th and final episode of the season.
Hard to believe.
Yeah.
And we made it all weeks. There were a couple times over the last couple of years where maybe you had to have somebody fill in for me. Maybe I was on the road. We were 15 for 15 this year, weren't we?
Were. Yeah.
Love it.
That was outstanding. College football today, of course, the game at noon up in Ann Arbor is Ohio State and Michigan square off. It sounds like the snow will hold off at least until later on in the game. I don't know that'll be much of an impact. I know I'm a Michigan fan. You're a Buckeye fan. It's going to be tough for Michigan, and I know Michigan fans are having a fit this season because they've lost a couple games, and I just want to put a little perspective. Because all my Michigan, we're 9-2. We should be better than that. All right, just pump the brakes. It's a young team. They have six guys starting that are freshmen on the offensive side. That's going to be the difference for me. That Michigan team a year ago, they had some veterans. I don't know that this Michigan team can compete with Ohio State just because they're so young. It's going to be an issue for the Wolverines, the youth.
I would agree, Lynn. And the Ohio State defense is really good, and they're consistently good. I think
without Justice Haynes,
yeah,
that's an issue for Michigan too. If they had him, like their chances a little bit better, but without him and Jordan Marshall, I know was a little bit banged up, a former Mr. Football in Ohio from Cincinnati Moeller. He's a little banged up. He got hurt a couple of weeks ago in that Northwestern game. I don't know if he's 100% or not, but if they had Marshall and Haynes both at 100%, feel a little bit better from a Michigan perspective. But this Ohio State team is a veteran group. And the thing for me is this game doesn't mean jack squat. I mean, Michigan can win. They may get in the playoffs, but they're not going to win the playoffs. They're not a national championship contender this season. Ohio State, honestly, they'd be better to lose this game because they don't have to play in the Big Ten championship next week, possibly.
I know.
The Big Ten championship is ridiculous. Why do we even have a Big Ten championship in all these conference games anymore? I'd rather not play in it. So what is the end goal if you're Ohio State? Do you want to win? You want to beat Michigan, or do you want to win a national championship? If you want to win a national championship, go up there today and throw your JV squad out there on the field because you don't have to play next week. You're still going to be in the playoff, and it's ruined the game.
It's almost a punishment, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If this was 10 years ago, this would be a big deal, but I don't know. I just don't think it's a big deal today, honestly.
The reason it's a big deal is, and I agree with every single thing you just said, I do. The reason it's a big deal is the Buckeyes, I mean, they're going to lose their ever-loving minds. Buckeye Nation is. If they don't get it done, because some of the fans are just so
well, they wanted
delusional.
Ryan Day fired a year ago,
correct?
And then they loved Ryan Day after they won the national championship.
But
so which is it?
There was still a faction though that was whining about beating Michigan. I mean, what do you want? Do you want in high school? Do you want a league championship or you want a state championship? What do you want?
Well, what about Liberty Center in 1997?
Yeah, there you go. Right. That's my
Lost
point.
To Patrick Henry. So you want the season just to be over?
That's my point. And I didn't.
Now
hear
they got revenge against Patrick Henry in the playoffs, but
they did. But I mean, fans are the worst sometimes. They're the best sometimes. They're the worst sometimes. I think a big key is this, Lynn. My unsolicited opinion: the Buckeyes need to start fast. Okay, number one, the snow, it looked like I was looking at before I came in, maybe second half. Okay, could be some flurries early, maybe second half. They need a lead because of weather, but I'm going to tell you right now, the closer that game is, longer it goes, the Buckeyes will pucker. I'm telling you, they will feel the squeeze. They're on the road at the big house.
But what does this game mean for Ohio State?
Oh, it means everything in terms of the program and psyche, and they're still going to be
the
able
psyche, or what is your goal? What is your goal for this season?
No. You want to win a national title, but I'm telling you right now.
But if they lose this game, it means nothing. They're still going to go to the playoff.
They will, but it means everything to the program. And you can call it pride. But the Buckeyes can't afford to lose again. And
why can't they? They're going to go to the playoff.
Yeah, they can, but they
lost a year ago and won the national championship.
Yes, they did. But losing is not okay in this game this year. A lot of years, I'd agree with you. Michigan has found a way the last,
4 years.
4 years. And the Buckeyes were probably favorites all 4 times, weren't they?
I don't think 2 years ago they were in Ann Arbor.
Okay.
The year Michigan won the national championship.
Okay.
I think Michigan was maybe favored by 3 or so.
Okay.
That would have been the only year. But the other ones, Ohio State was favored.
Okay. And
last year was 21.
Yeah. And Ryan Day, for his sanity and his family. And, you hear people saying, well, if they lose this year, he's going to be fired. No, he's not. He's not. But this is as big as it gets for the Buckeyes. I'm telling you.
I don't think it really is.
It is.
Because you lose, it doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things.
But it does. It does. It's hard to quantify, but it does.
So then last year didn't matter then, is what you're saying as a Buckeye fan, because you lost to Michigan.
And I would trade. I would not trade.
I'm just trying to understand.
No, give me the national championship 7 days a week. But I'm just telling you, if you're a Buckeye fan, a Buckeye coach, Buckeye player, this matters. It just does. It matters. And it just does. It just does. So
I don't know. I'm just doesn't seem to have the importance it used to.
No, there's absolutely no denying that. But
it is the world we live in with the playoff now, and I like that they've expanded the playoffs. But I don't know.
Well, doesn't feel the same as it did 10 years ago.
Michigan can win, but let's be honest, they're not a player in the college football playoff.
Yeah,
personally, that's just my unsolicited opinion. They're not.
Yeah,
this isn't a great Michigan team. They're too young.
If this game's 7-7 at halftime, I'm telling you, the Buckeyes
Buckeye fans will lose their mind.
The fans will lose their mind, and so many Buckeye fans think that Julian Sand can just throw it deep to Jeremiah Smith and score a touchdown every single play. Why don't you just call that play, Coach Day? It's not that easy, man. It's not that easy, but they think it is. He might be the best receiver in the country, but these DBs he's playing against are pretty good too. And so it's not that easy. I think yards on the ground are going to be tough today. I really do. And Buckeyes will have their hands full. I'm telling you, I was at the only game Jim Tressel lost to Michigan at the Big House. I was at that game. And boy, I took a beating that day too.
Did you?
Oh my God, the fans were ruthless.
Yeah,
but it is what it is. But that's a tough place to play, man. And it is tight. It is tight. And if you look at all the people they pack on the sidelines, I mean, I'm telling you, the Buckeyes are going to feel the squeeze today. If they don't start fast, they're going to be in trouble again. They're going to be in trouble again. And then if the weather creeps in, Michigan's winning 10-7, late third, snowing. Woo-hoo. Could be 5 in a row, buddy. And I'm a Buckeye fan, but I'm also realistic. Yeah. I'm not a fanatic.
I'm sure Wink Martindale, a Defiance College product, will have the Wolverine defense ready. I don't know if you've ever talked to Wink. I did some stories on him when I was at the Crescent and when he was with the Ravens. And I remember the one year I sent him a text and I said, "Hey, Coach, when you have 5 minutes, can I call you?" He says, "Yeah, call me at 6:30 or 7 tonight." Well, it was the Super Bowl week. I don't remember who they were playing, and he answers the phone, and he's always very cordial and a great guy. And he says, "Yeah, I'm sitting here at dinner. Ray Lewis is sitting to my right. I think Ed Reed was to his left. Just another day for a Defiance College grad.
Yeah,
and coached some baseball at Sonora as well back in his day."
Yeah, those are great photos to look at. Yeah, those guys that are just humble no matter. Dean Pease, who had a great career in the NFL. Those guys stay grounded.
Yeah.
Local boys done good. That's fantastic. Couple great defensive coordinators today.
Yeah.
Matt Patricia's done a great job this year for the Buckeyes, and that's funny. That's a great story.
Yeah. Wink is oh geez. Get a chance to talk to him. Oh my goodness.
He just looks like that kind of guy.
He's just a normal dude.
He'd be a fun dude to have a Pepsi with.
Oh yeah.
He's
He's drank a few Pepsis, I'm sure.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep. Thank you to all of our sponsors, especially to Norm Zider and the Swanton Welding Company for sponsoring Rise and Rewind this season. Thank you, Normie, so much. We appreciate it. We love you, brother, and looking forward to 2026 when we get back here on Saturday mornings. And thank you to all of our other sponsors. Thank you to Glenn and Greg Badenhop here at American Freedom Energy for putting up with us every Saturday morning.
Yep. And I feel like I almost feel like I need to get Glenn and Greg a nice Christmas gift for all the coffee I've drank this year. I wonder how many gallons of coffee I've gone through. And you've gone through your share too, but boy, I've put it away.
Yeah, you have. Yes, you have. Hopefully everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Have a great weekend. Please stay off the roads if you don't need to be out there today. And if you are out there, you have to be out there. Please be careful. We want everybody safe here over the holiday season. We will talk to you again next week with our podcast, and then we will have the Liberty Center Wheelersburg State Championship game on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. from Canton. Looking forward to the final week of our 2025 football season. Have a great weekend, everybody. We will talk to you again next week.